Who are you planning on blaming? At whose feet were you planning on laying the responsibility? Who are you going to claim was the guilty one?
In every age, you have always wanted to blame me for the famines, the plagues, the pestilences. I've always been your scapegoat, the one to point the finger at. The one who offers you the opportunity to not need to be accountable for yourselves. Death arrives before what you want to consider it as your time. Circumstances arrive in your lives that you see as disadvantageous to you. And they are met with nearly the same reply in every age. That our adversary is attacking me. That I have placed these things into your lives. That I am the one who should be condemned for what you know you have brought upon yourselves. Causing suffering and sorrow to come upon you. That you should not be blamed for your own actions. I have rarely ever noticed any of you. You pass by me as the dust in the air. Few of you have ever been of any consequence to my actions in any way. All your trials, all your tribulations, every woe and time of turmoil you attempt to place upon me. For you refuse to see within yourselves the sin that calls for these times to come upon yourselves. If not sin, then the lusts of your eyes and your flesh that you deny reside within yourselves will not allow you to contemplate that these moments can happen solely without me or my interference into your affairs. there is pain, it must be my fault. If there is sorrow and death, then it is me that you will point the finger of blame at. The death of the innocent, the death of the very young, the bystanders, those who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. All these events you want to blame on me. For each and every one whose final day has arrived. If it arrives at what you want to consider an untimely one, you will attempt to place the occurrence of that death upon my hands. There is a time for all things. Yet if that time frame of life is not within what you want to consider an appropriate length, if death arrives before you believe it should, it is me you will attempt to place the blame upon. All evil you desire to place at my feet. I coerce, I deceive, I tempt, I lie. Will you attempt to blame me because you have succumbed to my coercions? Will you profess to claim innocence because you fell to my deceits? Will my temptations that you have fallen into be blamed upon me by you? What excuses will you offer to the Most High for believing the lies I have spoken to you? Was not Eve punished for believing my lies? Do you think the Almighty will do less to you? What have I done? I have tempted you with the items of this world, and you have yielded to those temptations. I have coerced you into believing that you are more than what you presume yourselves to be, and you have walked willingly into those prideful desires. I can do no more than what has been allowed by the Most High for me to do. And you have deceived yourself into believing that you will be able to place the blame for your actions, words, and deeds upon me. Your faith is tied closely to your fear. For did not nearly 92% of you agree to lock those church doors, to put that mask on? And did not nearly as many of you roll up your sleeves, and then return to sit in the pews when you were allowed to? Professing of the care and love of the Almighty towards you? Will you blame your actions of those days upon me also? When I stand before the Almighty, I will stand there in the same fashion and manner that you will, alone, with no one to point the finger at for my sins, with no one to blame but myself, just as you will. Those of you who say you serve him, but your heart is far from him, I pay no heed to. You are, as I have said, as nothing more than the dust of the air to me, here and then gone. To those of you that truly do serve him who sits on the throne of eternity, I have noticed you, and I will not cease in my efforts to tempt you, to cause you to stumble, so that in doing so you will dishonor his name. Unless, of course, he allows me the same pleasure with you that I took with his servant, Job.
Any reason, any excuse that you may have prepared to give to your Father in heaven on the day of your accounting will not be accepted. You are to study his word. You are to pray without ceasing. You are to let your light shine before all you meet. You are to be a faithful witness and ambassador of the kingdom that you are a citizen of. If you are making excuses for yourself, know this: not your pastor, not your employment field, not your busy life, not even Satan himself will be a viable excuse that you will be able to use on that day as a reason for you not fulfilling all that has been set before you as one who has been crucified with the Lord Jesus Christ.